Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. If this is your first time visiting me, I would like to thank you. While you're here, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. By taking this action, you will be helping the channel to grow. Also, take a moment to read my About page so that you can have some understanding about who I am. I will never copy another person's work, nor will I ever copy another person's title. I would never do that. That's what people do to me. Nor will I ever copy another person's title. That's because I am authentically me. This work is a part of my bloodline. I thank you for visiting, and I hope that you will return. Please check out my other videos. All are welcome to share his or her story in the comment section below, because your story may be a helpmate to someone else. My channel is a no judgment zone place for healing in some sort of way. If my video does not resonate with you, please do not try to make it fit your circumstances at all. For anyone else and everyone else that this message does pertain to, take from it what will help you on your journey towards your happiness in every area of your life. Once again, I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. I saw my daughter just hopped on. Baby, I got a story for you. I was doing a live a few moments ago. A young lady hopped on. I told her to hit me in my inbox. I would go offline to speak with her. However, she didn't hit me in my inbox. I waited a few moments, nothing. I don't do that. I always have my daughter in the background. I always have my husband in the background. A lot of people think that this channel is like everyone else's. If my channel was like everyone else's, then I would be fake. My channel is not like everyone else's. I do private readings on my private platform. I'm a medium. That means I connect with spirit. I am a psychic. That means you're opening yourself for me to see everything I need to see within you. I read tarot, but the authentic way. There's never going to be a made-up story. My channel is not a soap opera. I am who I am. I am authentically me. But I see the young lady back online. A lot of people come up here thinking that I'm going to see their messages, and I don't all the time see your messages. I'm not ignoring you. I have to let you know I wear these. So if I wear these without them, I don't see much of your messages. These are actually bifocals. These are bifocals, right? So it comes with age. I have people that think that my platform is one of those platforms to whereas you're going to ask me a question and I'm going to answer for you. That's not how my energy works. I'm a root worker first and foremost. A root worker is people who work the root. I come from a long line of root workers. That's why I always tell everybody to read my About page. Therefore, when you read my About page, you'll have some understanding about who I am. I always tell people I may not be for you. I may not be the person that you want to watch. I may not be the person that you want to hear from. I send you to my About page so that you can understand my history. Hello, everyone is not going to be the same. Everyone's culture is different. And even if you share the same culture as someone else, what you've done in your family's bloodline is what a person does in their family's bloodline. I come from a long line of root workers, and you can summarize that in the best way that you know how. A root worker is a person that works the root. That means that we believe that everything around us can be used to heal, to help, to remove, or put on. That means to remove a spell from a person, to put a spell on someone. That's what I do here. Yes, yes. And that's what I do here. I do these videos for people to get to know me. Not only that, so that when you hear what I'm doing here, if you want to book a personal reading with me, I'm here for that. I have my daughter in the background. She is a root worker as well. That's DNA. That's DNA. And she's on my website as well. You can book a reading with me, or you can book a reading with her. There was a young lady who came up here, and you're still here. You said leave it. Okay. Okay. There was a lady here, a young lady, and I call her a young lady because she's younger than me. I got offline for you to meet me in my inbox. You don't have to give me any information, Sade. When you come to me, and anybody that I've done a reading for, especially meeting me here on TikTok, you don't have to give me any information. I'm not that person. I don't want any information from anybody. Let me see for myself, because the Spirit is always going to show. They're going to allow me to see. And that's it. When I do readings for people, I don't want anything from them. I don't want you to tell me anything. Because if you do, then it's not an authentic reading. That means you're feeding me information. And so if you're feeding me information, how could you trust that I'm going to deliver authentic information to you? If you go to any tarot reader, if you go to any psychic, if you go to any medium, and they say to you, what are you here for? Immediately ask for your money back. Because they should know what you're there for. Because once you book a reading with someone, if you go to someone's house and you do a reading with them, as soon as there's an exchange of money, then guess what happens? You open the gate for them to be able to see everything about you. But I don't do readings on this platform. But Spirit told me to go offline and speak to you. You can hit me, like I told you, in my inbox. Because when you do readings for people, it should never be publicized. And if I've spoken about any readings that I've done for someone up here, I never give so much of the information, but I ask that person first, is it okay? Because sometimes a person doesn't want people to know that they had a reading. They would like to keep those things private. But I'm going to do a Cancer reading, but you are welcome to hit me up in my inbox. You are welcome to do just that. And I'm going to, hopefully my daughter will be back soon. But she went to the store for me. And I wanted to do this reading. But if you're going to Jamaica soon, you're going to the right place. Because there's people just like me over there that's very powerful. That's very powerful. But let's get to this reading. This is a Cancer reading. Today is July 22nd. Today is the last day of Cancers, right? But you can still celebrate 2 weeks out because that goes into Leo season. I don't study astrology at all, let me tell you, because I feel like it's very tedious work. I feel like astrology is very, very tedious work. And you know, I just got this little stand, right, that I can move things around. So if you're getting a good look at my desk, don't get nervous, right? Because I told you, you know, my religion is voodoo. That's what we do, right? We are root workers. We work the root. We work the root. But let's dive into July 22nd. This is the last day for Cancers, but not the last day for you to celebrate, because you get to celebrate with the Leos for the first 2 weeks. You get to celebrate with the Leos. I'm hoping I'm giving you a good angle, right? I feel like I'm playing with a little arcade game or a video game. But you get to celebrate for the first 2 weeks because you are a Cancer Leo cusp. This July 22nd, Cancer is a hopeless romantic. If they're single, they love to flirt. And even if they like to flirt, they don't want you. They like to flirt to know that he or she still has it. It doesn't mean that they want you. This July 22nd, Cancer, they believe that love makes the world go round. When it comes to intimate relationships, they are very affectionate. They give themselves to the person that they are committed to. When they are in an exclusive relationship, they give that person their all once they are committed. This July 22nd, Cancer, is very loyal. Very loyal. Let's see what the universe has in store for you today. This July 22nd, Cancer, is very charming. And they have a sunny personality. A lot of people are attracted to their personality. People want to hang out with the July 22nd, Cancer. People want to be friends with, cordial with, be cool with that July 22nd, Cancer, because they feel like this Cancer has a very sunny personality. But let me tell you about the crab. They're not looking for friendships. This July 22nd, Cancer, is not looking for friendships. This July 22nd, Cancer, they don't mind having an associate or two. See the difference, the verbiage, an associate and a friend? Because a friend to me is someone that you would say, would you give your left arm to me if I needed it? Would you give me a little piece of that liver if I needed it? When people use the word friend, it has to really mean something, and especially to a Cancer. They're not too loose with calling people their friends, because Cancers are loyal. But they need to know that you are just as loyal, and using your words is not going to be good enough, because they know that actions speak louder than words. This is not for every Cancer, because just because you share the same sign with someone, it doesn't mean that you are the same as that person. Every person born on their birthday is different from the next. You may have similar attributes, but you're not the same. Spirit guides, help me to deliver an honest reading for whomever needs to hear it for the July 22nd, Cancer. Show me what I need to see. Tell me what I need to hear. Thank you. And excuse me if I didn't finish with the conversation of what I saw earlier online, but I had gotten distracted because Spirit, I guess, wanted me to see this young lady, which I did. But once again, I opened an invitation for her to send me her phone number for me to speak. You know, Spirit will show up and show you things. And I don't do that often for people at all. I know a lot of people, you jump on their platforms and, is Donnie going to date me? Does Marie like me? Does Faith want to get with me? I don't do that. That's not who I am. I'm not for play. I don't do those things. I connect with Spirit if there's a message to be given to you. I'm a psychic and I work the rule to put on or to take away. That's what I do over here. I don't do what people do over there. People yelling out yes and no, and it's not even so. I don't do that to people. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to pretend. I can only give you me. Because if I play or pretend, I'm going to lose what I have, what was given to me. And these are my gifts. And there's no person important enough for me to lose my sight, to lose my hearing, to lose my sense of feeling and tasting. I've been like this since I was a kid, and I enjoy it. I enjoy connecting to Spirit. I enjoy being a helpmate to people. That's why there are certain lines that I won't cross, no matter how much money you offer. There are certain boundaries that I won't cross for anyone. But we're going to ring this bell. Most of you know how important this bell is to me. This bell has been in my family for generations. This was given to my mother, but it's gone down the line. This bell sat in my mother's bedroom, and she would always ring it when she wanted to connect to Spirit. And I used to say, Mom, can I have that bell? And she would say it when she wanted to connect to Spirit. And I used to say, Mom, can I have that bell? And she would say, no. She would say no. However, when she closed her eyes, I went straight to her house and I grabbed this bell. I don't pack this bell up at all. Anywhere I go, I take that bell with me. It's going to be in my hand. And then I'll pass this down to my daughter. And one day she'll pass it down to my grandson. But I ring that bell when I want Spirit to come in and help me with the reading. We have this just in for the sign of Cancer. This just in. Spirit wants you to be grateful. You have been focusing so much on things you don't have that you never get to appreciate the things that you do have. Take this time to embrace all of what and who is around you. That is what really matters. So there's a Cancer that Spirit is telling you to be grateful. Be grateful for the things that you have and not for the things that you don't. Be grateful that you have it all and that you don't lack. There's a young lady that's watching right now. She says she was put out of the house for 3 days and not to use what she wrote, but be grateful that you have a roof over your head. There are so many things that we can be grateful for. And I'm grateful for everything. I promise you, if somebody brings me a glass of water, I'm saying thank you. There's never anything that I lose respect for when it comes to things that we are blessed with. A roof over your head, to be able to walk to a refrigerator open, a roof over your head, to be able to walk to a refrigerator, open it. And even if it's not the things that you don't want, you don't focus on things that are not there. You think about things that are there. You know, when I was growing up, my mother will always make a meal out of something. There was always a way to make a way out of no way. So we never had the lack mindset, or we never worried about what someone else had compared to what we didn't, or what we did compared to what they didn't. Spirit wants to remind you to be grateful for everything. Spirit wants to remind you to be grateful for everything. We have breaking news. Breaking news. Spirit says the gift of fertility is upon you. Whatever you are wanting to or trying to birth into your reality, Spirit is here to tell you that the time to do it is now. There's something that this particular Cancer desires to have. And Spirit is saying that you can have it. And you're trying to birth that into your reality, and you can have it. Spirit is telling you that you're at the finish line, so don't give up on whatever it is that you're asking for. But I have to go back to the young lady because Spirit has just put this in my ear. There's a young man that I made contact with who was homeless. The real kind of homeless. This young man thought his family would always be there for him. This young man didn't have to work for anything at all. This young man was given everything. I'm going to tell you, his grandmother probably purchased him about 4 to 6 cars. Everybody around him thought that he was a baller, but they didn't know that the money that he was pretending to ball with came from the blood and the sweat and the tears off the back of his grandmother. This young man has hurt a lot of people physically, emotionally, even sexually assaulted some of his own family members. This young man was even disrespectful to the hand that fed him. You know, they always say, never bite the hand that feeds you. But this young man did just that. This young man had to go and do some time. And when this young man did the time and came home, he was left a large amount of money from the very hand that he hurt, that he disrespected. He was left a large amount of money. But being that he had no skills other than someone else always doing for him, that money was gone in months. To whereas it'll take a person a year or two, that was some people's salaries. Year-long salaries. But this money was depleted in months. A lot of people, they think they can bite the hand that feeds them. And when a person has a door open for you, you respect that door that's open to you. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've dealt with, even if you don't like the person, if that door is open, you have to be humble in their homes. You can't be disrespectful. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue. And I'm old school, so I'm going to use old school verbiage because I'm hoping this sinks in. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue to have that roof over your head, to be able to walk to the refrigerator to get something out of it, to be able to go sit on somebody's toilet. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue until you can get to where you need to be. But Spirit, let me tell you, Spirit is telling me to tell you this story. This young man called a person that I know, and they said that they needed a couple of dollars. So this person I know sent them a couple of dollars. 2 days later, this person again sent this same person a couple of dollars. And then one day, this person said, all I want is to change my underwear. Can you just send me some underwears? Can you buy me a pack of underwears? That's when you know that a person hasn't washed their behind in a long time. That's when you know when a person ain't asking for you to feed their hunger or quench their thirst, and all they want to do is wash their buttocks, their ass. That's when they're in a mighty low place. Then I said to the person, don't even send them no underwear. And the person was like, don't send them no underwear. I said, nah, don't send them any underwear. And let me explain why. Because you have to allow a person sometimes to go through the dark night of the soul. A person has to relive the things that they've done to people. And they won't ever do that until they're at their lowest of their low. Some people make it out of that dark night of the soul, and some people never do. But you had to allow this young man to go through just that. Now, a lot of people may say, Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch, that's fucked up. Nah, what's fucked up was how this young man treated people, the things that he did to people. And Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch, know that it's time for him to reflect. A lot of people never get a chance to go through the dark night of the soul. And when people hear that they do have to go through the dark night of the soul, they get scared. But it's not for you to get scared, because life is a lesson. And if you've done any harm or any wrong to people, you have to relive that. And you have to accept your responsibilities, and then you have to want to change. But you don't have to. You can keep reliving and going through your same shit. Young lady that was up here, she said she was homeless. She said her step-grandmother kicked her out of the home. It's raining. She's been homeless for 3 days, but Spirit said she did something. Spirit said she was disrespectful. So I said, you did something. You being put out of that home is your fault. And then she said, yes, she was disrespectful. I don't connect with people and do readings on these platforms, not unless Spirit tells me to. But I'm telling you this story because your pain can't be thrown at anybody except for the person that caused the harm to you. What was done to you wasn't right, but step-grandma didn't do it. Sometimes you have to humble yourself. And even if you feel like great-grandma knew about it, she still didn't do it. So sometimes you have to bite your tongue. And while that door is open, you have to make your plans to be able to get yourself in a better situation. but you use the environment you're in till you can get into that better situation. There's a Cancer. Spirit is telling you not to give up. Spirit is telling you you're right there. Spirit is telling you that they're coming in to help you to bring whatever this is to a reality for you. This young man is homeless and has been for a very long time, a few months now, not 3 days, but a few months now, and all he requested was some underwears. People, we all got to do better. Everybody has to do better. With the way you treat people, with the way you talk about people, the way you talk down, because there's no one that's better than the next person. Just because you drive a BMW and they drive a Hyundai, it makes you better. It doesn't make you better. It just makes you a fool, especially when you don't own it. People try to be so flashy and so cocky, and they think that's the wave when you got a car. No. My husband and I went to go to an associate of his mother's home to bring some food to her and her husband because they're elders. And when we brought the food to their home, we're standing in this apartment complex, and there were BMWs and Mercedes all up in the complex. And we just looking around like, how crazy is this? You'd rather have that vehicle over owning your own home. You'd rather have that vehicle than owning a piece of land, to whereas you can leave that to your bloodline. I don't understand the way people do things. And it's not for me to. But there's a Cancer here that's sitting on something. Something major. Because Spirit says the gift of fertility is upon you. You're sitting on an amazing idea when it comes to a business plan. Whatever you are wanting or trying to give birth to, Spirit is telling you the time to do it is right now. Meditate on it. Pray on it. And ask your spiritual team to help you bring this to fruition. This young man has to go through the dark night of the soul. Many people go through it and they don't even realize they're going through it. A lot of people never go through the dark night of the soul until they close their eyes. And then there's this thing called reflections. No matter how good of a person you are when you were here in this realm, and it doesn't matter how bad of a person you are and were in this realm. Everybody has to go through the dark night of the soul. But on the other side, we just call that reflections, to be able to, you start from the womb on out to the day you closed your eyes. That's why a lot of us mediums, we don't like to speak to people that have freshly departed, because a person that's going through their reflections, it may take weeks, days, months, a year, depending on how long that person lives in that reflection of what they have to go through. Here in this realm, we call it the dark night of the soul. And everybody, most of us, recognize the dark night of the soul because it's when you've hit that lowest of the low. That thing that you call pain that feels like it's so unbearable. Oh no, it's a way out of it. When you acknowledge your wrongs. And if you're a person that's always in denial, you're not going to acknowledge your wrongs, and you're going to stay right there where you're at, reliving the same shit all over again. Different patterns, but same shit. This young man, nobody can help him but himself until he acknowledges what he has done to people and he accepts the pain that he has caused. And that's the only reason why he's where he's at. There's a Cancer. Spirit says it's time to bring that idea that you have to reality. This just in. Whatever this idea is that you have is going to be very lucrative. It's going to bring in financial success for you. Spirit says this just in. Let go of fear of the unknown. We often fear the unknown because we are attached to what's familiar. Spirit is encouraging you to face the unknown with a brave heart and remember that you are never alone. There's someone that has a beautiful idea that's going to be very lucrative, but you're like, what if I put my money on this? What if I invest in this and it doesn't work? What if I lose it all? Well, how you gonna know if you don't try? Because Spirit is letting you know you're not going to lose it all. But if you're sitting around with that doubt and you have that fear, that's what you're going to be bringing to this situation, and you will lose it all. It's just like a person praying. Why does a person pray when you don't even believe in what you're praying for? People are like, I sat and I prayed for the same thing for the last 5 months, and it hasn't shown up in my life what I was asking for. Because while you were praying, you were doubting. While you were praying, whomever you pray to feels what you're feeling even before your mouth can say it. So while you're praying, it makes no sense to do so when you have doubt, when you have fear, you just don't believe. But you're still asking. It doesn't make sense. You have to let go of fear. You got to be that fool card and the tarot deck. You know, the fool that takes the leap of faith. Jump in. Because how do you know it's not going to work until you try it? Spirit is saying go for it, because it's going to be a lucrative investment. This is your idea. Don't share this idea with anyone. This is your idea. Do your homework, do your research, how to birth it and bring it to fruition, because it's going to be lucrative. So let go of the fear. You can, because Spirit is letting you know that they got you. Stop fearing the unknown and embrace it. At the bottom of the deck, we have breaking news. You recently experienced a tower moment in your life. Tower moments are very uncomfortable for some people. And some people just embrace the tower moment. Some people are like, it is what it is. But you've recently experienced a tower moment in your life. Spirit had come to warn you that whatever is not built on solid ground will surely come crashing down. But not to worry. Spirit says, for this is now the time to start again and build a more stable foundation. Young lady, if you didn't like your step-grandma, then you can build a solid foundation. You can start over again. But I'm sure step-grandma will let you back in the house with some apologies. with some sincere apologies. Sometimes we have to grit and bear it. But if you don't want to grit and bear it, then you got to face this. You got to face this. You know, I promise you, I don't want to give anybody a reading. I really don't. But I'm going to say, you can't be grown in somebody else's home. That's it. Gotta respect the rules. You can't be grown in somebody else's home. When you get your own home, you can do and say whatever you want. But in somebody else's house, there's rules. Whether you like them or not, there are rules. And nobody wants to hear that ever. And when you don't want to hear it, then you start working hard to get your own home, to put a roof over your head, you know? And that's what most people do. They'll find a friend, an associate, and be like, hey, you want to split rent with me? And if the two of you can't split rent, then they'll find a third person. But you better make sure it's somebody that you can trust, right? And young lady, let me just say, listen, I'm going to be honest. Don't go try to sit on nobody D for a couple of dollars for a roof over your head. I would go back home. Even if it doesn't feel like home, I will go back. And I would apologize not to be in the streets. Because it's a dark place out there. My mother used to say that the night has no eyes. But let me tell you something about the streets. They ain't nobody friend. They will eat you alive if you ain't ready. Spirit guides, help me to deliver the most accurate message that I possibly can for the sign of Cancer, born on July 22nd. Show me what I need to see. Tell me what I need to hear. Thank you. Spirit guides, what message do you have for Cancer? 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 Thank you so much. What message? Oh, my goodness. Thank you. 2 more cards, please. 1 more. Thank you. 1 more card. Thank you so much. There's a card that's facing the other way, but I'm going to leave it there for a moment. Thank you for the hearts. We have the number 25. The number 25 may be important to someone, but we have the number 25. This is Oshun, the seductress. This is a Cancer, male or female, that is very attractive. Listen, I don't know what your type is, but she's sexy. Male or female, you could be very handsome or very pretty. A lot of people are attracted to this particular Cancer. You know, you're very sensual. But this is a Cancer that doesn't even understand their feminine power. So now I'm speaking to a female. And even if you are a male that stands in your feminine energy, you don't know your feminine power. The number 25 is very important to someone. There's a lot of attraction that's going on around you. People are attracted, but you are nobody's fool. You're just not going to dive into any relationship just because someone likes the way that you look. You know, the number 25, it's a message. Every number is a message from your angels. Every number is an angel number. And it's a message that you need to trust yourself. Trust your divine inner wisdom and your intuition as you navigate change. You know, your angels will be available to assist you through any changes that you encounter in life, as we just spoke about. When you combine the number 2 and 5, the result is root number 7. Number 7 is a highly spiritual number that is directly related to our soul's larger purpose in life. Let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying a beautiful and loving relationship if you're in a relationship? Do you feel like your partner, he or she, is the one? Your angels care about moving your relationship forward if you're in a relationship to the next level. This can mean so many things. It doesn't have to mean about getting married or anything like that. It doesn't have to mean about getting married or having a child. The two of you could be getting ready to meet each other's parents, planning your first vacation together, or adopting a puppy or a little kitten. You know your situation better than I do. You have that for sure feeling on making the next right move because it feels right to you. Do you and your partner want to move in together? Or do the two of you just want to buy property together? Whatever the two of you decide, your angels are saying that this is the perfect time. So pay attention to your inner voice and listen to it. Have faith that this is the right moment. Surprise your partner. Share your thoughts and your goals for your love and your relationship. But when you see the number 25, get ready for new experiences, new adventures, new opportunities. Yes, this is the time for new things to happen in your life. Change is another name for the number 25. This number should empower you because your life will shift in a 360 degree. Remember that happiness is about making the most of what you have and being grateful as if you own the entire universe. So, my cards never lie. But let's just go back to where we started. This just in. Spirit wants you to be grateful. You have been focusing so much on things you don't have that you never get to appreciate the things that you do have. Take this time to embrace all of what and who is around you. That is what really matters. But let's go a step further. Because this number 25, the way that this seductress came out, she didn't come to play. She wanted to make sure you really understood what you were looking at. Because breaking news, Spirit says the gift of fertility is upon you. So remember, the number 25 says, share your idea with your partner if you want to buy a home, if you want to move in together, if you want to possibly go and buy some land together and just start building together. Whatever you are wanting or trying to birth into your reality, Spirit is here to tell you that the time to do it is right now. Even if you have a business idea, you can share it with your partner, but I wouldn't be around sharing it with my so-called friends, right? I don't have any. Let me just tell you that. Remember that happiness is about making the most of what you have and being grateful as if you own the entire universe. Love, relationship, goals, opportunities, and resourcefulness are all the embodiment of the same number. Angel number 25, this represents a message of hope and strength and appreciation. Having gratitude, being grateful that our angels are always with us, wanting to help us. But we have to appreciate life. And when you appreciate life and the things that you have, you'll never worry about the things that you don't. We have the number 15, Oshans Ase. The number 15 may be important to someone here. But the number 15 is worthiness. You are worthy. You are worthy. If there's someone here that suffers from low self-esteem, let's fix it real quick. Let's fix this. Let's get this shit out the way. Because Cancers, you are gorgeous. Not only on the inside, but on the outside as well. You started off with the number 25. That's that seductress, male or female. People are attracted to you. Not only your energy, right? Because the energy is people being attracted to the soul of you. So not only do they have this fascination to your energy, but they have this fascination about the way you look, the way you talk, the way you sound. You have that feminine power that a lot of people don't possess. So this number 15 is about knowing that you are worthy. This is you being connected to every part of you. And that's called your self-worth. And then it's respecting yourself. You remember, I just told the young lady, don't go out there thinking that they can go sit on somebody's DICK for a place to live. And I meant that. I would go back to grandma's house and I would apologize for my rude ass behavior. And regardless if I don't want to be there or not, I will bite my tongue until I can save to have my own. And if anybody is messing with me in that house, then I will call the popo. I will call the popo and be like, this is happening. This is what's done. And then they'll make sure that you get into a shelter. But shelter or grandma house, shelter or grandma house. I'm going to pick grandma house and listen to all her bullshit until I can save my money to get my own. But this number 15, angel number 15 is made up of the numbers 1 and 5, which are both largely positive and powerful numbers. The number 1 is associated with relationship, optimism, and taking the initiative. So when you see the number 15, because you're going to see it, when you see it again and again, know that your angels are telling you to use your powers. That's that feminine power. Use your powers because you have the power to use your thoughts and actions to manifest your highest ideas. That's where this comes in. Breaking news, Spirit says the gift of fertility is upon you. Whatever you are wanting or trying to birth into your reality, Spirit is here to tell you that the time to do it is now. Let's move on. We have the number 18, Oshana Envy. That's self-explanatory. You know, Cancer, people are very jealous of you. You have some people around you who despise you. They don't like you. They're jealous of you, but you know that, right? But you try to overlook it. You're like, not me. They look better than me. They have more than me. That's where that self-doubt comes in. Stop doubting who you are. Know your power. Know your self-worth. Respect yourself, because these hoes are jealous of you. There's some very jealous people around you. Stop doubting your power. Stop doubting who you are. You walking around feeling inadequate about yourself, and there's no room for that, not in your life at all. Stop bowing that head down and keep it up high. You know, in the tarot deck, the number 18 is linked to the moon, which you are linked to the moon, as Pisces is as well, as Scorpio is as well, which also represents these same insecurities and also things that are hidden being revealed. The moon lights up the sky in the darkness. You have to use your powers and your connection to the moon and illuminate why you have these insecurities. Why do you carry this self-doubt? Why do you feel inadequate about yourself? And when you can start to remember these things and who said what and who did what, then you'll understand that these people are so minute, they're minor. Work on your self-esteem and look for the real causes behind your actions and why you feel the way you do. You know, work on yourself. Or this could be someone who may be upset with their partner for his or her actions that you consider to be flirtatious as well. And if your partner is flirting with other people, and that's making you feel inadequate and making you doubt yourself, then you don't need that partner, because your partner should not be flirting with anyone, not if they value and respect what the two of you have. When the respect starts to leave, then you need to be packing your bags and leaving too, or packing his or her bags and telling them to leave. You know, you got to put yourself where you need to. But we have the number 10, and the number 10 is Ocean's desire. Listen, you desire passion. You desire romance. That's who you are. You desire to have romance in your life. You are a very passionate person, as I said in the beginning of the reading. See, this July 22nd Cancer, they are different. This is a very passionate individual. But you long for romance, for that excitement. You have that drive. And you're not trying to get it from anybody, because you're like, I can give myself this. I can do these things myself. But you still desire that affection. You know, let me just ask you a question. Have you been seeing this number 10? If so, your angels are sending you guidance. They're sending you love, and they're sending you support as you see. And if you haven't noticed this number 10, you will start seeing it in a day or two. Those of you who have been seeing the number 10 are at the beginning of your spiritual journey, or you are beginning a new phase of your spiritual journey. And those of you who haven't noticed the number 10, you will begin to see it in a day or two. And that is when your spiritual journey will begin. This spiritual beginning includes an expansion of spiritual connection and increased spiritual awakening. So with the combined energy of the angel number 1 and the angel number 0, the angel number 10 signifies new beginnings and fresh starts. That's why we have this tower moment. Some of you have already experienced it, or you may be about to experience it. However, you recently experienced a tower moment in your life. Spirit had come to warn you that whatever is not built on solid ground will surely come crumbling down. But not to worry, Spirit says, for this is now the time to start again. This number 10 is all about new beginnings and to build a more stable foundation for you and your partner if you are in a relationship. The number 10 means fresh starts, new beginnings. So when you see the number 10, you're being freed from your bad habits. Your person making you feel inadequate, making you doubt yourself because they are out there flirting. Listen, if your person is out there flirting with someone, tell them to go be with that person. You have no time for that. Who has time for that? Also, it means that your life is about to have major improvements. There may also be a need for you to avoid certain people, as we spoke about. These envious people who are around you, who are jealous of you, avoid them like the plague. Avoid them. Avoid these people, these situations, because they aren't good for you. So when you see this number 10, you will know that it's time for you to stop holding back and embracing these new opportunities. We have the number 26. This is Ocean of Mercy. This is compassion. This is the Spirit telling you to have compassion for yourself. Forgive yourself for allowing these people to make you feel this way, because they made you doubt yourself. Spirit says, forgive them. Have empathy for yourself. And to the young lady, forgive yourself for allowing someone to take you out of your character. See, a lot of people, they think that the louder they are, it makes them right. But the louder you are doesn't make you right, it makes you wrong. Because disrespecting a home that you don't own, disrespecting the roof that you had over your head was your first mistake. Youngin. That was your first mistake, youngin. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue. My son moved here to Georgia, but he came to visit me a few times. And I know he was hinting around, he was waiting for me to ask him if he wanted to stay here until he got a place. But guess what happened? The offer never came. I never offered my grown-ass son, 30 plus years old, a bedroom in my home. Because when people grown, people grown. Now, you can look at me and be like, dang, but you tolerate disrespect because they're your kids and you're like, not my baby. Something may be wrong with my baby, but yes, these are not babies. These are adults. And I don't tolerate disrespect no matter who it comes from. I don't care if it happened 10 years ago. I don't care if it happened 5 years ago. But I'm never going to be uncomfortable where I'm supposed to have my peace. I don't care if you apologize or didn't. The thing is, when a child of mine comes to me and tell me I'm grown, I need you to mean that shit from the day you said it until the day that you decide to close your eyes. That means have your funeral arrangements in check. Do everything that adult is supposed to do. So no, I gave him a place to stay while he came down to look around. But I never gave him a place to bring his bags to stay. And guess what? He has his own place. And he has his own place. And he has a great job. But sometimes kids, they want to come back home so that they can save their money, right? And do everything they want to do with their money while you still foot the utilities, while you still foot the groceries. They think that they don't have to partake. No, I need you to be grown from the day you told me that you were grown. I need you to be that way all the way through. Absolutely. Absolutely. The number 26, Ocean of Mercy. Have compassion for yourself. Forgive yourself. And have empathy for yourself. Because when you don't know better, how can you do better? But now that you know better, it's time for you to do better. A person's opinion of you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. Allow them to feel the way they feel about you. It doesn't make them right. And it doesn't make them wrong. That's how they feel. The important thing is, how do you see yourself? So have compassion that you allow these words of this fool or these foolish people to penetrate, to try to touch the core of you. Forgive yourself, because we see that they are all envious. All eyes on you, Cancer. The number 28, this is you, Ocean of boundaries. This is the number 28. You are setting boundaries. You're letting go of people. You're like, I have no time for this. Cutting cords. Cutting cords. You're fixing your energetic balance. This is you liberating yourself, holding your head up high, not allowing a person to tear you down with their words or with their actions. Not in any form or fashion can anyone hurt you. You're different. This is growth. You want balance, and you'll have it no other way. Oh my goodness. This is the number 43. This is one of my favorite numbers, let me tell you. The number 43, this is Ocean of miracles. This is divine, this number, let me tell you. But this is an unexpected blessing headed your way. Look at this butterfly, yellow butterfly. Look at the world, holding the world in their hand. This is an unexpected blessing. Oh, look at all the colors of the rainbow. This is an unexpected blessing. If you don't know what the number 43 means, you need to look it up. This is one of my favorite numbers, let me tell you, but this is hope. If nobody else has hope, you have to have it. In every area of your life. You have to hope for the best. You have to want the best. You have to desire the best and take nothing less. This is divine. This is very divine. But an unexpected blessing is headed your way. We have the number 16, Ocean, the warrior. A lot of people, they really don't understand the crab. They think because the crabs are small, right? Because they look at the blue crab as the only crab. But we have king crabs, we have snow crabs, we have all types of crabs, right? But this is you using your personal power. This is you saying no more. And you're not defeated. Let me tell you, you can't be defeated. Absolutely not, because the only defeat comes from within. And you're not giving up on yourself, are you? So this is you showing your personal power. by setting these boundaries. This is you being assertive with everything that you do. This is you being that natural born leader that you are. Look at the yin and yang. It's so important. You don't have to be cocky with it. You can still be humble, knowing how powerful you are. But it's time for you to shine. You are connected to the moon. And a lot of people say that the moon holds so many secrets, but you see them all. You see them all. You see them all. You see the lies. You hear the stutters. From people that don't even stutter. You notice the shift in people's bodies. You hear it. When a person lies to you, it makes your skin crawl sometimes. But you sit there and you're like the crab, very silent, quiet. And you're being calculating. You're adding it all up. And you're like, okay, I remember what this person did. I remember what they said. I remember how they spoke to me. And that's a leader. That's what a leader does. You're not going out there yelling and screaming and hollering. But you're tapping in. You're tapping into your personal power. And you're using your leadership abilities. At the bottom of the deck, we have the number 14, Oshan Healing Sage. Oshan Healing Sage. This is restoration. That's that new beginning. This is compassion. Oh, you could crush these people with saying everything that you know about them. You can tell their secrets, their dirty little secrets, can't you? But you don't even want to do that because you want balance. There are so many ways that you can strike at these jealous people, but you're not, because you're better than them. And that's what a leader does. You got this. Not only are you a leader, you're compassionate because you know those are fools over there. So you have compassion for the fools. But you're a healer. And you heal the wounds of others. So you're not even going to use your sword to strike. You're going to allow them to hurt themselves. This reading is for the sign of Cancer. But guess what, Cancers? You can still celebrate the first 2 weeks of Leo season. Because this is that Cancer Leo cusp. July 22nd, they saved the best for last, didn't they? Because this is a beautiful reading no matter what you've gone through. Listen, this just is showing you how many people are jealous of you and you doubted yourself for what? Did you forget who you were or are? Spirit guides, help me to deliver the most accurate message that I possibly can for the sign of Cancer. Show me what I need to see. Tell me what I need to hear for the July 22nd Cancer. Thank you. Spirit guides, thank you so much. We have, when was the last time that you couldn't stop laughing or smiling? Cancers, you need a good laugh, right? Maybe take in a comedy show. But go back to a moment when you laughed so hard you almost peed your pants, or you did. Feel the laughter grow in your body, your cheeks hurting and your eyes watering. Maybe there was even a snort or two. Laughter is healing. Thank you so much. Laughter is healing. It reminds us to take life less seriously and find the joy in the littlest things. Note to self, laugh more often. You can even laugh at those fools over there. The ones that made you doubt yourself, laugh at them because you still get the last laugh, Cancer. Thank you so much. Today's soul action, make somebody laugh today, Cancer. Make somebody laugh today because laughter is healing. Let me tell you. Does your life have room for more pleasure and play? So does your life have more room for more pleasure and also play? In what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or when it comes to work. Is it possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side of you? Today's soul action, Cancer. What would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life? What area is lacking this right now? Take time to play. Let go of any need to produce anything and just have fun. I promise you, today, all day, I was thinking about just that. I said, listen, I have to get a few things in order. But with me getting a few things in order, I'm getting older. But just because I'm getting older, it doesn't mean that I'm going to just sit around. I'm going to enjoy life. You know, I want to enjoy life. Get out there and enjoy life. Have some fun. Maybe take in that comedy show. Go somewhere where you can laugh, have fun, somewhere where it's safe to do these things. Get up and go travel. Research the areas that you're going to travel to. Make sure that there's no ban advisories, that you are safe going to these places. And listen, as I always say, ask your angels to protect you from the north, the east, the west, and the south. Ask your angels to protect you in all your comings and goings. It's so important to do so. However, what would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life, Cancer? What area is lacking this right now? Take time to play. Let go of any need to produce anything and just have fun. We have, am I in my head or in my heart? Are you in your head or in your heart right now, Cancer? Thank you so much. What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Thank you so much for those gifts. Thank you. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where your miracles happen. Today's soul action. Today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video. Do some tapping. Read an empowering book or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams. I promise you, when we pray, when we meditate, those are the same things, right? I don't care what side of the fence you stand on. Thank you so much. Praying and meditating are equal. However, thank you so much. When you believe in yourself, the universe sees it, or whomever you pray to sees it. Even before you open your mouth to ask for something, everything starts with a feeling. Everything around you starts with a feeling of. You can't lie to the universe. You can't trick the universe. Thank you so much. Thank you. You can't lie. You can't trick the universe at all. But We are the authors of our own story. And I say this often because I want it to sink in and marinate within you. We are the authors of our story. And our angels are always here to guide us, to help us. You know, I had been asking my daughter for a reading. My daughter is a medium. She's a psychic as well. And it was like 2 weeks. I asked her for a reading. And she kept saying, no, no, no. And she would not. And then she sent me a message. And it was a video reading she did. And I promise you, everything she said in the reading, you were going to see this was going to happen, that was going to happen. And I was like, okay. So I said, I need to listen to this again. So I listened to it again. And I'm like, okay, I know exactly where she's going with this. First and foremost, I didn't even discuss a dream that I had. However, it was in my reading. Then I'm walking outside the house. And this butterfly, my husband had said to me, I had asked the gentleman to cut our hedges, to take them down just a little bit. So my husband was like, you need to go out there and see the hedges, right? So he was like, I don't think that's what you asked for. So as I was walking out the front door, this butterfly just went by me, but they went to the hedges. The butterfly went to the hedges. So I'm following the butterfly, true story. So I say to my husband and my daughter, I said, this butterfly just went with me to the hedges. So that made me be calm. Let me tell you, that butterfly kept me calm. So the guy was like, you like? And I said, yes, I do. That's what I said. I said, yes, I do. Because guess what? It'll grow back. It was no need to get mad, get angry, because it's not like he could pick up the leaves and stick them back on. But there's somebody that you hold everything in anyway. And when you strike, ooh, vengeance is what they should call you. When you strike, you strike. But you don't like to do it because it takes you out of your element. We are the authors of our own story. And true story, we get to write our next chapter. We really do. We get to write our next chapter. When you meditate on it, writing, journaling is so important. A lot of people really don't understand that, but it's so important. I homeschool all of my children, and with me homeschooling them, I used to tell them to write, not on a particular subject, but how they saw their lives. Every single day I made them write, true story. That was the first assignment. I gave them an hour of writing, how they saw their future selves. And my kids are adults, and they'll tell you they can't stand to write today. They said, Ma, you made us write so much that I don't like to write anything down. They said all they do is just sign their name on something. True story. But my youngest daughter, she still writes a lot. She really does. But writing is actually you writing your life out the way that you see it for you, the way you need it to be for you. It's your truth. It's your soul's truth. Writing in a journal is like writing in your diary. Leave out what happened in the past. Focus on the now and where you see yourself. And it's so important that when you write, you do put timestamps on it. I would like to see myself in 30 days here or in 1 week here or whatever the case may be. I'm just giving you examples. But anything you write if you believe in what you're writing, it's similar to praying, because you can bring it to fruition. You can birth your writing into a reality. I've done it plenty of times. The young lady that was up here, and I was introducing you guys to her, and same things that I've shared with her. And she asked me, she said, have you ever thought about giving a class, right? And I said, maybe in about a year or two, right? That's what I said. I didn't say or two. I said maybe in about a year. But I have also been asked to be a part of people's soul families, very prominent people. But I've had to turn down, because sometimes you have to take a step back and you have to sit with yourself. And I'm like, okay, let me go back to my ancestors. I don't remember them at any time joining with anyone. I had a family member in New York. She was a reverend. And please pay attention to what I'm saying. You know, a lot of you jump on here and you'll say that, oh, root work is demonic, or this or this or this or that, right? But I have a relative, she's passed away now, but she was a reverend. And yes, she was a voodoo worker, but she was a reverend, a Christian reverend. I have a godfather that's a bishop of a Pentecostal church, and he is a voodoo worker. He is a healer. Just because you hear these terms, understand. But make sure you understand, because there is always two sides of the coin. There are some people who do harm, and there are some that do none. They do no harm. Yes. Wait, my daughter just came in to ask me something, but listen, she's showing me something, so I apologize. But let me tell you, I promise you, without a doubt, you can write your own story and birth it, give life to it. I wanted a house. And I draw. And I drew a house. I drew floor plans to this particular house. And I drew every bedroom, the size of the bedrooms. I promise you, I left no detail unturned. I put the bathrooms where I wanted them to go. I drew this house out. Then, after I drew it, I made copies of it. And I gave them to my children. And they were smaller at the time. They were small. And I said, listen, mommy needs your help. And they said, okay. I said, mommy wants to own a particular house, right? And I explained it the best way I could to children. But it's all about energy. And children, they believe what their parents tell them, true or false. So I said, I need your help. But it's going to take you and I, all of us, to do this together. I gave them the floor plan of the home. When I gave them the floor plan of the home, I told them to look at it every night before they went to bed. Now, I'm the mom. I used to read to my children before they went to bed. But after I would read and we talked about the book I read to them, I would tell them to take 5 minutes to look at the picture, because it was what the last thing on their mind was going to be before they went to sleep. And I told them to focus on the picture, as many details as they could, because everybody will have their own room. I said everybody will have their own room except for my two girls, right? I know y'all probably like, that's not fair. The boys had their own room, but my girls had, they had to share a room. That's how I drew it out for them. Anyway, to make a long story short, every day when I woke up, that was the first thought on my mind. When I went to bed, that was the last thought. Next thing you know, I'm online. I'm on this website just looking at houses. And I saw the house that I drew. True story. I didn't even look what state it was in. I didn't look where it was at because every detail in the house was exactly like how I drew it. Then I'm looking at this house. And regardless, never say you're broke. Just say I don't have right now. Or I have enough. And I have enough to purchase this home. Either way you want to say it, but never say I don't have enough. Never have a lack mindset. As soon as I saw the house, I called the realtor and I said, listen, I have $5 in my bank account. And I went on and I gave him this bill. He said, ma'am, I've never heard of anything like this again. Ever. He said, you're telling me you want to buy this house. You have not obtained a mortgage, haven't been approved for a mortgage. You only have $5 in your bank account. I said, yes, until I get paid. I said, but to show you that I am going to get this house, I want to send the owners of the house $1,000 good faith money. He said, ma'am, you just said you only have $5 in the account. I said, yes, I want to send you a post-dated check. You can cash it in 2 weeks. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, I don't know. I said, the law says that any offer you receive, you have to present it to the sellers, correct? He said, yes, I do. He said, ma'am, I'll get back to you within a day or two. You know what? That was on a Sunday. He called me that same day. Not even about an hour later, and he said, can you send me a copy of the post-dated check? He said, do you know about when you think you will be able to be approved for a mortgage? I said, I'll start looking for one right now. And the homeowners, they accepted my offer. I mailed the post-dated check with the $1,000 good faith money. And that money was to show them that I wanted to buy their home. I was asking them to take it off the market. You know, they could have lost a lot if I wasn't able to get that home. But I knew I was going to be able to get that home. And do you know, when I did get the home at our closing, they had the $1,000 check. They never cashed it. Never. Yeah. You get to call in your life. You have the ultimate power. Cancer's natural, born leaders. And it's time for you to reclaim your power. But you have to do it without fear, without doubting, and understanding and knowing who you are and how powerful you are. It's in all of us to be able to control our futures, our destinies. True story. But you can't do it with fear, because fear is not going to help you. It's going to slow down the progress. It may cripple you, or you may not get it at all. So, who is the one person that you can count on in this round to make sure that all your needs are met? I'll wait. And the answer should be you. You are the one person that you could count on in this round. And then in the other realms, we call out to our ancestors. We call out to our guardian angels. We call out to our archangels. We have a whole spiritual team that is waiting to step in when we call them. And all you have to do is say, I'm ready. It's as simple as that. It's a true story. You know, I said I was going to, I'm going to make this quick. I said I was going to tell this story, but a lot of times I pull back from telling it because I need to be fair to family that are watching and family associates that watch this platform. But, you know, I have to be real with myself because I am the Cancer that's always been fair to people, but people don't always be fair to me, but I don't like hurting people. But, you know, there was once upon a time when I was young, I was a teenager, true story. And I'm sitting on the porch one day. And as I'm sitting on my mom's porch, right? I hear spirit. Do you want this man? So I sat there. I did. I sat there. Spirit asked me again, do you want him? I said no. I did. I said no. I said no. Not right now. That's what I said. And I called out a time to Spirit. And I spoke back and forth. That's how I speak to Spirit. There's conversations like I'll have with anybody. Right? It's conversations that I have with anybody. And I could see. 1000% I could see. And I called out a day and time. I called out a time. And then one day, decades later, because I made the time decades later, I received a message from this gentleman. And I'm just staring there and I'm looking at the message. And I'm like, wow. Then I said to the gentleman, I don't like to text. Just give me a call. And so the gentleman called me. And then one day, I'm with him. And I'm like, do you think you can handle what I'm going to tell you? And he said, yes, I can. Because he don't like any secrets. I said, well, when we were kids, I was asked if I wanted you because my heart was always with you. And I said no. I said no. And he said, why did you get to make that decision? I said, because I loved you more than you loved me. And here we are married. And this is decades later. We get to write our own stories. We are so powerful. And you don't even realize it because people disconnect from the core of them, which is their soul. And I always tell people, the soul never leaves us, but we can become disconnected from it. People always ask, how do you hear? How do you see? How do you feel? How do you taste? And I tell them, we were born with it. And most of us have powers, but they're locked away from an experience, something traumatic. They're locked away. Some people's can never be unlocked and some people's can. But how are they unlocked? You have to connect to the core of you. You have to connect back to the soul of you. When we speak about a lot of people who really understand the dark night of the soul, it is not just those words. It's about reliving and feeling all the traumas that you may have caused someone and accepting your part for it, or things that were done to you. And if you're strong enough to forgive. But just because you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you need to sit at their dinner table. It just means that you understand the essence of life and how we are always able to transform and move forward. It's so important to connect to the soul of you. It really is. Not only are people born with gifts, however, there are some people who receive gifts through a life-threatening experience. Maybe someone could have faced a life or death situation. I have my son, the one that I speak about. He has gifts and he doesn't want them at all. When he was here, what was it, like a month ago, and I've showed you guys him on video, I asked him, I said, do you still vomit when you see spirit? He said, yes, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. And this is a kid that runs from his gifts. He wants no part of it. And I understand, but that's fear. So he keeps that locked away. He keeps it locked away. He wants no parts of it. And I tell him the simplest things is to acknowledge spirit. When he was a kid, he would yell and scream, call me in his room. Mommy, do you see them? I'm like, yes, but just tell them to go away. And he refuses to speak. Even as an adult, still refuses to speak. And I'm like, you're 30 plus years old. You have to speak and say, listen, I set boundaries. And he refuses. But then he'll always come to me. Ma, did spirit say anything about me? Oh, you want information, huh? Use your own. That's what I tell him. And he gets so mad. He gets so mad. I'm like, use your own. Don't ask me anything. Use your own. Ma, is this going to happen for me? Is that going to happen? Ma, can you do this or do that? No, you do it. You do it. You do it. You are my kid. I'm a mother of 5. I have 3 boys. I have 2 girls. My 3 boys, I have 2 of them with gifts. My youngest son, he's in his 20s, later 20s. He has gifts, but he's different. So his gifts are very slow. Because when you have your gifts, you always have to pick a side of how you're going to use them. And his side is not like mine. Please believe me. You have my daughters. Both of them have gifts. One is stronger than the other. Then you have my daughter who she's picked a side, but then wanted to revert to the other side. And you can't play with spirit. When you revert to the other side, there are things that you have to give. You have to pay a cost. And she didn't realize how costly or how expensive it would be. And that's the truth. We all have special gifts. I have people that tell me all the time, can you show me how to unlock them? First, you need to be sure that you want them. You have to be very sure that you're ready. Please believe me. My life isn't easy and it's not hard. I do wake up with nightmares. I do wake up with people touching me. And that's only because I don't set boundaries with spirit. I'll get up to go in the kitchen to grab me something to drink with the lights off. And there's always something here in my home. Once again, that's because I don't set boundaries. And the only reason why I don't set boundaries is because I have so many crossed over loved ones. And I use them for different things. Not the word use in a bad way, but I call upon their help for different things. And I never want to miss a message from my mother. I never want to miss a message from my father, from my sister, and so on. So I don't set boundaries. But with not setting boundaries, spirits show up even when you don't want them to. Now, the one place I set boundaries is in my bathroom. When I'm using the bathroom and when I'm taking a shower. I do set boundaries for that, right? I don't care if they're spirits or not. I don't want them looking at all this goodness. You know what I mean? And I don't want my dad looking at me like that, you know? So I set boundaries for my bathroom. I really do. In most homes, there are portals in your home, and a lot of people don't even realize it. Things happen in people's homes, and they don't realize it. But spirits will always show you when they're there, especially welcome spirits, because sometimes people welcome spirits and don't even realize they're welcoming them. And people think that they take a piece of sage to get demonic entities out of their homes. That is just that, and that's not the truth at all. It's not the truth at all. I had a young lady, and she gave me permission to speak about this, and she has some demonic spirits in her home. But I was dealing with my own things, so I couldn't go to her home. And I said to her, listen, you have to do it the exact same way that I'm telling you. And I told her how, the person left, dirty undergarments and things in her home. And she was like, oh my goodness, I found some dirty undergarments. I said, yeah. So this person was trying to wreak havoc on her husband, on her male sons. So I told her before she did the spell, I gave her a certain remedy to clean her home, which she did. However, she called me and I'm like, you didn't complete the spell. And she did not. So one more time, I told her, but after this, I wouldn't be able to help. And everything has been peaceful. The babies are sleeping. And a lot of times people don't realize that when you don't have welcome spirits, they come to disrupt. When little kids wake up from nightmares or seeing things, you better listen to them. And don't ignore them as you're just seeing something or you're hearing something. Children's souls are so innocent. They see spirits before they can talk. Why do you think a lot of babies smile off into space and they're connecting to family members? Or when a newborn just cries out of nowhere and you think it's hungry or a diaper needs to be changed, and that's not it. There are other entities that try to come in. You always got to be cautious of who you will let in your house. You always have to be cautious who you welcome, because sometimes people have things on them and they don't even realize they have things on them. And then they come to your happy house and those things can be left in your house without that person even knowing what they just did. But getting back to the story earlier, I was scrolling and there was a woman, she was talking about how she went to New Orleans and she went to a store. So I sat and I listened to the story on TikTok. And she was saying that when she went to a store in New Orleans, there was this man speaking with the sound. And then there was a female, because I always rush to the comments because people are so funny. She was like, there's these type of people that can speak with that sound, and they're called whatever. So I'm like, this lady watches a lot of Harry Potter. And there are people that do cause harm that speak like that, and there are people that cause no harm and they speak like that. It's just when it comes to Africa, a lot of tribes that have not migrated into a worldly world, like a world that we live in, that still live in, huts or out in the jungle. They speak like that. And a lot of people that do work when it comes to voodoo, when it comes to being herbalists, they keep a lot of snakes. And they use snakes to either protect, or they use snakes to not only to protect, but to put spells on. So she was saying how this person, that every time he spoke to her, that he would speak with the S sound. And she said that she walked out of his store and started walking backwards, her and a friend of hers. And she started basically pleading, the blood of Jesus. Now, I'm just using the blood of Jesus. That's not exactly what she said, but she said she had started praying a prayer. However, sometimes people see things on you that doesn't necessarily mean that they're casting a spell on you. Sometimes you have different types of healers that'll remove things from an innocent. Someone that doesn't even know that they have something on them, but it's necessary to do it right then and there. But then there are a different sector that uses the snakes for demonic things, and they can cast their spells on you with their words. There's also so many things that people need to be wary of, but I can't break it all down here. But I can't break a lot of things down only because then I will be given so much information, and that's like informing your enemies, right? And let me tell you, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But just be mindful. Stay protected. The simplest way to protect yourself, and I say this for anybody, is to ask your angels to protect you from the north, the east, the west, and the south. It's so important to do so. Do just that. Ask your angels to do that. I do that before I walk through this house, before I step outside, even in my own home. I ask the angels to protect me. Stepping out my front door, I asked the angels to protect me. One morning, I got distracted. My little sister called me and was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm on my way. I'm coming to visit you. And that morning, I did not ask the angels for any protection. As soon as I hung up with her, I laid right back down, went to sleep a little bit more. I called her when I got back up. I'm like, where are you? She's like, I'm 5 minutes from your house. So now I'm jumping up. And I'm trying to get ready because I, went back to sleep. That day, I had a car accident. The one day that I didn't ask the angels to protect me. There are angels that you call on for different things, especially your archangels. I told you I'm not a religious person, but our angels, they serve all of us. No matter what your race, no matter what your culture, our archangels serve all of us. Please believe me. And they are here for different roles that we can call upon them. A lot of people call upon them when it comes to spell work to cast spells off people. We use them. No matter what you believe in, they work for all of us. We light candles to them to keep the home clean, to keep the home fresh, pure, because there's always a hot spot. especially if you've had company. They may leave something there and not even know it, or some people do know. Always just be careful with your surroundings. And I've spoken about this before. Don't be so free to eat and drink from people. Don't be so free to do that. You know, it's so important. I remember when I was in school, high school, believe it or not, a lot of people knew about my family. A lot of people did not. But young girls from the high school where I came from learned about a certain spell that you can do to guys. And that would be taking their menstrual cycle blood and putting it in their boyfriend's foods or whatever to make their boyfriends like them, love them more, to stay with them and not want anybody else. True story. And I would hear these girls talk about it, but I never got involved in the conversations because, like my mom used to say, never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So you don't get into those conversations, but you listen. And I would see a lot of dudes, acting up over girls. And then the problem is when people do that, what happens when that person that did the spell no longer wants the guy, right? What happens when they no longer want the guy? That guy is still addicted to you. That guy is still attracted to you, and you try to move on. I saw a lot of young girls from my town getting their behinds beat the mess out of them. I saw a lot of girls get hurt in so many different forms and fashions. I don't do spell work when it comes to love at all for anybody. I don't ever do that because that goes against the grain of what I believe in. And what I believe in is freedom. Our soul will live forever, for eternity. It's going to outlive us every lifetime because it lives forever. But our flesh will deteriorate. So if you have that belief, you can't have the belief to think it's okay to capture a person's soul, to take something away from them, and that's their free will to be able to love who they want. A lot of people think that it's funny to do love spells until a person hurts them, to a person unalives them. And it's not funny, it's not cute. You've taken something from that person. And even if you make it out, where do you think you're going to go when you're trying to take someone's freedoms? All root workers, all voodoo workers, all voodoo workers, all healers are not evil. Some are healers, meaning that they remove spells from people. And then some do harm. All it takes is the right amount of money. You understand what I'm saying? So be careful. Just because you think someone is cool with you, never be so hungry or thirsty to want to break bread with people. To always want somebody's food. Let me tell you, one Christmas Eve, we had gone to my husband's sister's house, I guess, where they do this family tradition of having breakfast. And my daughter and I, we were the only ones that didn't eat shit. And the food looked amazing. But I wasn't hungry enough or thirsty enough for a motherfucker to hurt me or to hurt my child. But since I was a kid, we've always been taught when you go to people's homes, you don't eat and drink from them at all. Even if you're watching them cook it, you're not watching them every second. Because something in that pot could be meant for you only. Or something in that pot could be meant for you, but another person could get into it. So many spells, and if a person doesn't have their spell down pat, it can affect many. But I am Empress Real One, the Good Witch. I send to you all nothing but love and light. I thank you for the new follows. I thank you for the gifts. And I thank you to everyone that's following me on my YouTube platform. I had started it, went away, went back to it. And I thank you for following me over there because it's growing. So what I do with the videos here, when I do the lives, I take them, I put them on my YouTube platform because it's so tedious to put videos up here. The videos up here are short. My videos are long. I used to break them down into 18 to 20 something parts and put them up, but that would take me days. So now I just download and I put them on the YouTube. So everybody that's been following me, I thank you so much. I'm truly grateful to each and every one of you. And excuse me for going on and going off. I usually don't do readings on these platforms, but this young lady, Spirit told me to speak, which I did. And I'm glad that she was honest enough that, you know, when I answered, she told the truth of what I said. You know, a lot of times people jump in and they want to see if you real or not, right? I don't play those kind of games. I'm not like everybody else. My platform is not like everybody else's. But I do have a personal website to whereas you can book a private reading with me. And I don't read for everybody. Let me tell you, when you book a reading with me, if I don't like your energy, ooh, I'm sending you your money back. I don't deal with people who like to put their hands on other people. I don't mess with you like that. You wouldn't want me to, I promise you. I don't believe in a person hurting someone because of ego. I don't deal with people like that. So never ever book a reading with me, even no matter if you're a female or a male, that's an aggressor that like to put your hands on people. I'm not doing anything for you. I'm not messing with anybody that likes to try to take away someone's free will. That's not me at all. I don't work like that either. Other than that, we good over here. We're good over here. But if you're that kind of person that likes to harm or hurt, I'm not the one for you. I promise you that. I'm not that person. Yeah. But I send to you nothing but love and light. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the follows. Thank you most importantly for your time. Good night. The gifts. Thank you for the follows. Thank you most importantly for your time. Good night.